Episode 3. On End, the wolf's gray fur will stand. So glad Simon got some karma. He's the one who hated Baburin. I heard he's a weirdo. I hurriedly rubbed my glasses. The glasses! Simon was clutching them in his fist while I was getting beaten up. And in just a couple of hours, this lost item was lying on the ledge of my window. It was hard to imagine that Simon suddenly got a guilty conscience and returned my glasses in such a strange way. It's definitely not that one. I was shocked, but kept walking toward the classroom, accompanied by nasty whispers all around me. That photo still stood before my eyes. Simon has gone missing. Simon is gone. Who cares? I mean, ew, like good riddance. His fat fingers will never get to my throat. His signet ring won't smash into my chin. He'll never humiliate me again. Wasn't that what I wished for? On the other hand, did I really wish Simon to become a murky stain on the notice board? He was still someone's son or grandson, and he went through the same struggles as me. Did I really wish for my unseen companion to dispatch him in such a brutal fashion? I didn't know the answer. Or I was just scared of it. Polina! I wonder if she's going to be mad at us or if it's going to be a good thing. Because obviously we had a nightmare and she believed Katya's lies. Nonetheless, school still had something nice about it. Wait a minute. I don't know why I was so excited. I have not forgiven her for her reaction to when they kicked the dog. I am still not okay with how she reacted to that. I don't know why I sounded so excited. I'm sorry. It's Polina. Polina, the girl with the violin, was like a mountain spring, like well water that you gulp down, pressing your lips against the zinc outer ring of a bucket and can't ever get enough. Remembering our walk yesterday cooled off my head. Polina's hatred towards dogs, while understandable, was still alarming. Could a charming girl like her really be nesting something so repulsive inside her heart? I immediately remembered my dad's shady past that recently resurfaced. A person I idolized was the reason for us moving to this bleak countryside. At least he was, according to Mom's screams that were coming from the other side of the wall. Still, Polina tried to defend me from a delinquent gang even if she failed at it. She was pleading for Romka to leave me alone and gathered my belongings that were strewn around the forest while fighting tears. And when those bastards tried to drag her away, she resisted with all the might she had in her fragile body. I do agree with that. He is right about that. I mean, she could have just left us. I think it was Simon or Romka. They literally said, you can go whenever you want. We're not stopping you. The only one they were stopping was me, Anton. And she stayed. In the end, she was the one to find my house, lost among the taiga, and told my dad that I lied there alone in the dark, abandoned in the middle of the forest after the beating. Maybe I'm being too harsh on her. What if I make her one of the characters in the story I'll draw? The protagonist will save her from terrifying monsters. As soon as I thought of monsters, a bunch of my classmates slid down the rail, smirking like the xenophobes from the Alien. Xenophobes. Maybe it's xenomorphs. I immediately felt larvae of fear wreathe in my stomach. Here they come, looking as bitter as ever. Oh, look, they're still glaring at other people right now. They're so hateful. I didn't want to cross paths with Romka and Bayasha after what happened yesterday, especially since Simon suddenly went missing. Dun, dun, dun. Wait a minute, though. Because now that I'm really thinking about it, though, Simon went missing. They might think that Anton, went after him for some revenge, so they might actually be scared of us. I'm just saying. Polina seemed eager to talk to me, but her expression soured after noticing the aforementioned duo, and she walked past, leaving me a single sorry look. Look, she's like, listen, I stayed for you the first time. I'm out this time. She's like, you're on your own. I entered the classroom and went toward the last row. All of the chatter suddenly died down, so I walked there in complete silence. It felt like my classmates pushed and poked me with their stares. They carefully observed my every move. They looked at me with a mortifying mix of pity, ridicule, and derision, like a scientist looks at an ugly representative of a newfound species of worms. I stared at the desk with a huge pile of library textbooks on top, my fists clenched. It felt like I was the one who disappeared in that snowy forest, and my desk was finally used for something worthwhile. Simon's empty chair stood in front of me. The chair that once belonged to Vova gathered dust somewhere in another room. Sit down. Wait, can I choose where to sit? Wait a minute. Why would I sit down in his spot and not my old spot? Wait, I can't sit anywhere else? Every boy my age I knew had something like this in his arsenal. Powder firecrackers that blow up with a very loud sound, especially inside an archway. It said that they're produced in China and that a single one of them can blow your fingers off if you light it up and clutch it in your hand. Especially the Black Corsair type. They won't be enough to blow up plastic soldiers, but when it comes to stuff made of plaster, they should work. So if I click on stuff, there's stuff about it. An old cheap slide projector. I called this model a tank because it looks like one. There was a time when I had a lot of cool fairy tales that we used to watch with Dad in complete darkness. I remember Little Raccoon and One Who Sits in the Pond, Kipling's Mowgli, and many others. I was immediately swept away by the memory of the projector's hum, of its hot casing, of its bright rays hitting the wall, turning it into a screen. It's a pity that the school slides were mostly about minerals and PSAs. What else can we click on? So we can't, talk about Katya. It really wants us to sit in his seat. I really don't want to sit in his seat. Ah! That's such a bad idea. After a moment of hesitation, I sat down at Babarin's desk, the place where I was supposed to be assigned by Lilia Pavlovna at first. The chatter resumed as if someone just unpaused a movie.
Бабушка Бабурина такой кипиш устроила, когда он домой не явился.
Oh no, Katya. Baburin's grandma made such a fuss when he didn't return home.
Сначала в школу прибежала, потом ментов вызвала.
First, she ran to the school, then called the cops.
Да-да-да.
Yes. How would she know that? Though? Katya snuck a cunning glance at me, then leaned into her neighbor and whispered something. Girls from the second row also leaned in. She shared something with them too, whispers, nods. I kept catching her stare on myself. Her neighbor stared too. The whole class was watching me. It was like they felt the need to watch me because they were searching for traces of blood on my fingers. I wanted to defend myself and shout, "Guys, listen, I'm innocent!" The delinquents turned around and stared at me in silence. Their looks were dripping with malice. But why? What did I do to them? Their friend went missing and they're still focused on me? Suddenly I noticed Bayasha drilling a hole in my nose with his eyes. It felt like he was about to point his finger at me and shout at the top of his lungs, "Everyone look! Baburin snatched his glasses yesterday and now he has them back! Murderer!" But he remained silent, as if there was nothing special at all about my glasses. I may be going mad, but I think Bayasha knows something. He knows something, but he won't tell me what. Roma gave me a meaningful glance, as if reminding me of his promise. My aching temple reminded me of it. I needed to stay away from Polina. As if looking for protection, I clutched the ruler until my hand hurt.
Не надо быть Коломбо, чтобы догадаться.
You don't have to be Columbo to solve this.
Кто на Бабурина зуб имел?
Who held a grudge against Babarin?
Кто его вчера ударил? Поиздевался, а после...
Who hit him yesterday? Bullied him, and then... The metal roller fell out of my weak fingers. It hit the floor with a jingle, and that made the other kids shudder. I love how they all looked, and then they immediately turned away. They're like, "Oh God, we made him mad." Katya bit her tongue and squirmed nervously. Yeah, you should be scared. Chairs scraped against the floor. My classmates moved away from me, closer to the exit, toward the teacher's desk. I was not the only one to catch wind of that change. Romka and Bayasha looked around and winced in contempt. Too bad that they weren't afraid of me like everyone else.
Да прикуси ты!
Shut it.
Бабурин, небось, с бабкой посрался и дымился.
I bet you Baburin just got a whipping from his old hag and ran off.
Скоро найдется.
They'll find him soon.
Найдется, ага.
They'll find him, all right.
Во овраге, со вспоротым брюхом.
In a ravine with his stomach cut open. I gulped. Oh gosh, Katya seems like a real nice person. I imagined Simon on a snowy blanket, his face white like a fish belly, split down the middle by a crevice of his mouth, snowflakes falling on his glassy eyes and filling up in his throat. "See?" I could almost hear his condescending tone. "It's all your fault." Why was Simon only one get his just desserts for bullying me? Weren't all of them supposed to disappear? Ramka, Bayasha, Katya, along with every laughing outsider, onlooker? Of course, Simon did me a favor by disappearing. Thanks to him, my classmates now stared at me in awe. But that was only one side of the coin. What if I'll have to repay that favor soon? The door creaked, and Polina entered the room. I straightened up in a hurry so she wouldn't see me looking like a scared critter. Oh, I love how she immediately looks at us to make sure we're okay. Polina found me with her eyes, gave me a short nod, and went to her seat. Katya rushed to her neighbors again like a lab rat that saw a treat and started whispering, switching her gaze between me and Polina. Messages on pieces of paper started jumping around the classroom. The ringer's trill announced the start of the class.
Так, заканчиваем бардак. Дети, встаньте.
All right, stop messing around. Class, stand up.
Петров, тебя это тоже касается.
You too, Petrov. Lilia went to her desk, followed by a policeman in a uniform. It was the man that visited us just recently. Tall and his stare so sharp, you could get cut on it. Hello there, kids.
Здравствуйте!
Садитесь.
You can sit down, kids.
Познакомьтесь. Это старший лейтенант Константин Владимирович Тихонов.
This is Senior Lieutenant Tikhonov.
Он задаст вам несколько вопросов и проведет небольшую лекцию по безопасности.
He's going to ask you a couple of questions and give you a small PSA.
Лучше лекция от милиционера, чем уроки. Да! Уроки не будут здорово! Ура!
The class livened up. Talking to a policeman was way better than studying. I, on the other hand, was ready to sit through hundreds of hours of Russian literature just to escape the lieutenant's oppressive stare. His brown eyes felt around the classroom looking for me. Hair stood on the back of my neck, and an icicle had lodged in my gut.
А правда, что Бабурина маньяк убил?
Is it true that Babarin got killed by a serial killer?
Екатерина, ну-ка цыц. Здесь взрослые задают.
Shush, Katya. Let the adults ask questions here.
Просто нам всем страшно.
We're all scared.
Может, убийца бродит где-то рядом?
Maybe the killer is somewhere close.
Или сидит у нас за спиной?
Maybe they're even sitting among us. Her sly stare was directed at me. Look at her holding her middle finger up. Oh my gosh. She was so sly about it. Tikhonov stepped in between the rows of desks and started walking at an excruciatingly slow pace, brushing his fingers against the chairs he passed by. Some of the students almost broke their necks following his movements. That's how a crowd of commoners would gleefully anticipate a public execution in the Middle Ages. And he just walked closer and closer to me. I gritted my teeth to stop myself from screaming. Calm down. Breathe. You didn't kill or kidnap anyone. He already knew the answer to his question, but the policeman still asked in a stern
Petrov,
voice.
Anton?
Anton Petrov?
Да.
Yes.
Встань, Петров.
Stand up, Petrov. My muscles turned to stone. I got up and glued myself from the chair. I felt like I could hear all my joints creak in the process. I only wish that Polina wouldn't turn around and see the grimace of horror in my face. If only I could be somewhere far away, in the forest, digging myself into a snow pile, rolling up into a ball there. The officer stared at me as if he was about to lock a pair of handcuffs on my wrists. I wonder how cold these bracelets are to the touch. I imagine myself getting jailed and put into a juvenile detention center where tens of Simons would constantly harass me.
Я ничего не знаю. Я тут ни при чем.
I don't know anything. I have nothing to do with this.
А тебя никто и не обвиняет.
Nobody is accusing you of anything.
Пока что.
For now. Why did he put that there? Only then I noticed a file that said case number in his hand. It had a gray cover made from rough carton. Number 131. It flopped into the desk like a guillotine blade that slid down on someone's neck. With a measured motion, Tikhonov opened the file, still studying me with his gaze. I caught a glimpse of documents and photos. They showed prints on the snow. They looked like animal prints.
Ты с Семеном Бабуриным общался?
Have you talked to Simon Babarin before?
Я знал его всего один день.
I only knew him for a day.
Все знают, Петров его ненавидел.
Everybody knows that Petrov hated him. I turned red. You ugly bitch. I wanted to sink my teeth into Katya's face and chew out her cheek. Instead, I replied with the calmest voice I could muster.
Мы повздорили вчера.
We had a fight yesterday,
Но он первый начал.
but he started it.
Я его ударил.
So I hit him.
Сильно?
How hard did you hit him?
Да нет, так.
Not that hard. I mean... I waved my hand indecisively. Tikhonov looked at my fist as if he was surprised that I managed to hit the big kid from the photo. That would honestly be so embarrassing. He's like, I hit him like this. And the police officer looking, I'm like, oh yeah, he's a little wimp. Surprisingly, Lilia came to my rescue.
Бабурин проблемный подросток, с шилом кое-где.
Baburin is a troubled teen, a true pain in the rear,
Сам ко всем лез.
always picking fights with other kids. The officer replied with a meaningful nod and fished out a notebook out of the file.
Это твое?
Is this yours? I averted my gaze. It was a math notebook with my name on it. My classmates devoured me greedily with their eyes. It felt like even the writers on the portrait squinted at me in suspicion.
Моё.
Yes?
В лесу нашли.
We found it in the forest,
Там же тракторист, что снег убирал в последний раз, видел Бабурина.
in the area where the tractor driver who was plowing snow there last saw Baburin. I started blinking in bewilderment. Romka ransacked my school bag. This notebook probably just got lost somewhere in the bushes. The lieutenant knew about the school brawl, but was he aware of the fight in the forest clearing? I had witnesses that could testify to Simon and I walking in on different directions after that. I looked toward the boys, hopeful. Romka, who sat behind Tikhonov, put a finger to his lips. Wow. And when the officer quickly turned around, he pretended to pick on his nose. I deciphered a signal. But can Polina help us? She was there. Boys like Romka would probably say something like, snitches get stitches in a situation like this. I frantically fixed my glasses. Wait, Simon took them away yesterday, but now they're...
Так что ты делал вчера в лесу, Антон?
So what were you doing in the forest yesterday, Anton?
Я в школу через лес хожу.
I go to school through the forest.
Могла выпасть легко.
It could have easily fallen out of my bag. Easily, just like me producing this half-truth.
Будь осторожнее.
Be careful out there. Before I could realize whether it was a genuine piece of advice or a veiled threat, the teacher said,
Класс. А сейчас лейтенант расскажет о правилах, которые вам необходимо соблюдать.
Class, the officer will now tell you about some rules you should follow.
Так маньяк все-таки есть.
Ah, so the killer does exist.
Пока мы ничего вам сказать не можем.
We can't make any of this public for now.
Но есть преступник или нет, вы должны четко помнить о собственной безопасности.
Whether the criminal really exists or not, you should be mindful of your own safety.
Вас бережет милиция. Вас опекают родители и учителя. Но в первую очередь защищать себя должны вы сами.
The police, your parents, and your teachers all watch over you, but no one guards you better than you yourself.
Итак, кто там что хотел узнать?
All right, any questions? A stockade of arms rose from the
У
desks.
вас оружие с собой? А покажите пистолет. А покажите, пожалуйста. Охрана.
The kids shouted over each other, swarming the policemen with questions. In an attempt to calm down that chorus, he moved toward the blackboard. The gray file was left lying in front of me. Okay, last time we got caught looking through this, I have to do a better job. I stared at it, my breathing so ragged that it might have looked like someone who just ran a 100-meter sprint. Beads of sweat rolled down my back. I looked around the classroom. My classmates were catching officers' every word. Only Romka was saying something to Bayasha. Lilia was staring into the window, fighting back yawns.
Объявлять комендантский час причин пока нет. Слишком мало времени прошло с момента
when do I
исчезновения
read it?
вашего одноклассника. Мы все уверены, что он найдется живым и здоровым.
As soon as I touched the folder, Tikhonov lashed at me with his eyes. My hand instinctively moved away as if that stare actually hurt. The officer just kept staring at me without saying a word, making me squirm under the weight of this uncomfortable silence and the sneering looks of my classmates. I thought if I waited for him to go all the way to the left of the room, since I'm on the right of the room, it would work. Does he actually turn around? And then he suddenly continued his speech as if nothing happened.
Но сразу после уроков
So do I just skip?
вы должны идти домой.
Ah, now I see. Nobody paid me any mind, so I slowly opened the file. My finger started sifting through the document. Polina was so cute. Look at her little baby picture. Wait, that's not Polina. Ksenia. Ksenia, 6 years old, left her home sometime in December. Identifying features okay. My heart almost jumped out of my ribcage. A round-faced girl no older than Olya smiled at me from the photo. The first victim of a serial killer. The first child to disappear in the forest without a trace. I turned another page. Okay, this is Vova, 10 years. Vova was the second. His mitten hanging from the branch. His name called out by desperate adults and repeated by the sneering echo. Lilia coughed, trying to calm down the rowdy students. I yanked my hand away and the file closed.
Диких животных. Как известно, в наших лицах водятся волки, медведи, лисы.
Wait, but his back was turned. I clanged my teeth from surprise. Pushed myself into the back of my chair, blinking in bewilderment. Time to try again.
Час причин пока нет.
So at least we know he does turn his back to the blackboard
Слишком
eventually.
мало времени прошло с момента исчезновения вашего одноклассника.
Maybe he has to be all the way to the left with his back turned to
Мы все
us.
уверены, что он найдется живым и здоровым.
Now. Yes, okay. We already read this part, so I'm going to skip through this part.
Поговорим о диких животных. Как известно, в наших лицах водятся волки, медведи, лисы. Людей они боятся и близко
Oh,
не
he
подходят.
turns around really
Но бывают
fast.
животные бешеные. Не бегите и не делайте резких движений. Если лиса
Oh, his
крадется к
eyes
вам,
are looking. You see?
попытайтесь запрыгнуть повыше.
Now we got it. The officer turned his back to the class and started writing on the blackboard with a piece of chalk, producing nasty screeching sounds.
Не знакомцы.
Strangers.
В деревне почти
Almost
все
everyone
друг
knows
друга
each other in the
знают в
village, so the
лицо.
outsiders normally
Так
stand
что,
out
увидев незнакомца,
if you see a stranger. The officer started squeaking with a piece of chalk again, and I, after making sure no one was watching, opened the file and took out the photos that were hidden at the bottom. The artery-like roots, stumps, and charred pines cut down by lighting. By lighting? Lightning? Lighting would obviously lightning would not make sense. And snow, lots of snow. Then a black building that immediately gave me the chills, yet it wasn't a crypt. So, I don't know what that is. It's a garage. A box made from steel standing amidst the thicket, judging by the trees all around it. Those black gates were almost sucking me in. My fingers trembled and the photo glided through the air back into the file. Thank God it landed upside down. That steel box was just too unsettling to look at. There was also a plastic bag at the bottom of the file, the type used to store evidence. I opened it. He opened evidence? And inside it was a severed finger. I blinked and the mirage dissolved. I couldn't see a cut-off body part. There was only a signet ring inside. Stunned by that fleeting hallucination, I almost felt like I was transported back to the forest and heard Simon's words.
Ща, парашник, я тебе этой печаткой так заряжу.
I'll hit your faggot face so fucking hard. The ring was giving off a faint glow on the top of my palm. I panicked and squeezed the evidence in my fist, as if trying to assure myself it was real. Oh my God, that's so stupid, because now our fingerprints are on the evidence. What is he doing? I clanged my teeth from surprise, pushed myself into the back of my chair, blinking in bewilderment. The officer silently gathered the documents and gave me a stern look.
Больно ты любопытный, Петров.
Well, aren't you a curious boy, Petrov? Okay, so is there no way to not get caught? If you made it this far, can somebody tell me if there's a way to not get caught? Because listen, I will leave this save here and I will keep trying if there is a way to not get caught. Because I thought I did a great job. I mean, I was even able to look at the evidence. Maybe that was all that was in there and so we did our part. But I'm pretty sure I saw an achievement that you could get if you didn't get caught. I don't know. I tried my best to squeeze out an apology and return the ring. But I only managed to hold out a clenched fist with the ring inside and started rumbling like Dad's car engine when it was started. He still has, oh my God, he still has things from the crime scene. What was that?
Как говорится,
You know what they say.
меньше знаешь, крепче спишь.
Ignorance is bliss.
Вот.
Here. My precious. You got Simon's signet ring. Hey, I got an achievement for that. I got something. I'll take it. He went toward the blackboard without looking back while I was still clenching the stolen piece of evidence, thinking about Simon. A boy that was already most likely dead.
И еще раз.
Let me say this again.
Если вы заметите в поселке кого-то подозрительного, неважно, возле школы или на лесной тропинке, сразу сообщайте в милицию.
If you see anyone suspicious, be it near the school or on the forest trail, contact the police immediately.
Телефон-то знаете?
You know our number, right? 119.
Спасибо, ребята.
Thanks for listening, boys and girls.
Спасибо, Лилия Павловна.
Thank you, Lilia.
И это,
And we'll find your
одноклассника вашего
classmate.
мы найдем.
Dead or alive. Yeah, right, a thought flashed through my mind. Dig through enough ditches and maybe you'll be able to piece him together. Like Lego. My thoughts turned evil for some reason, and I couldn't control them. I tried to switch to the lieutenant's speech about suspicious individuals. What if I saw the killer before? What if I was a hair's breadth away from them? Suspicious people. You know what would be really wild? I don't think it was, but what if it was Polina? She was the only other one with us. There's no way, but that would be crazy. That would be wild. How suspicious was the fox girl that wandered in the darkness? A weirdo that always appears out of nowhere and then dissolves into thin air with her riddles and rhymes. Could she really harm the hulking Simon? Should I tell the officer about her? No, we did that last time, and no, that's silly. We're not doing that again. What if lives of other kids depend on this? Of the cute Ksenia or Vova too? Wait, what if I get mocked for speaking out? What if they'll start whispering behind my back? Or what's even worse, think that I'm insane? Romka gave me a stern look over the shoulder. I doubt someone like him would approve of cooperating with the police. Katya's braid dangled nervously behind the delinquent sitting in front of me. My hand was glued to
До
the desk.
свидания, лейтенант.
Tikhonov was saying goodbye to Lilia Pavlovna. He was about to leave. It'll be too late soon. I really think we should stay silent this time. No way. I've had enough humiliation. I'll keep my head down like a bunny. I locked my fingers and zipped my mouth. Quiet as a mouse, you avoided attention. Got another achievement. Let's go. The bell rang. Lilia Pavlovna passed by without looking my way. Polina left after her. My classmates went silent at the same time as if someone muted the sound on a TV. They followed me with their eyes the whole time I was passing between the rows. Judgmental looks. I felt like I was in the scopes of many sniper rifles. I squeezed through the barricade made of desks, looking for Polina. But I stumbled into my new buddies instead. Romka swaggered up to me.
Решил сдать нас ментам?
Decided to rat us out to the cops.
Но я ничего не сказал.
I didn't say anything,
Да то подумал на.
but sure as fuck thought about it, eh? Romka towered over me, breathing out a faint smell of tobacco.
Ты сильно ошибаешься, думая, что без Сёмы у тебя настанут веселые деньки.
You're very wrong if you think that without Simon, you'll have a better time here.
Мы тебя сосвету живем, понял?
We'll make this place hell for you. Got it?
До скорого, очкарик.
See you, Four Eyes. My head tilted forward from his slap.
Вот да лохна.
What a loser, eh? I wasn't surprised to find a note stuck to my back during the break. It said, "Kick me." My nightmare clearly wasn't about to end. Oh, I was hoping Polina was going to help us up. It's been 7 days since the lieutenant visited our class. At first glance, everything was still the same. The forest still held out its gnarly claws toward the village, and the wind whipped up white flags weaved from powdery snow every night. When my parents argued in the other room, I would turn up the TV's volume to silence their muffled voices and sit close to Olya. Vova's and Simon's photos were still 2 black spots on the notice board, and round-faced Ksenia hasn't returned home too. But something did change. I could see how different the looks on my classmates were. They met me with a new portion of pokes and insults. Contempt, mockery, and loneliness became my faithful companions. But most importantly, a shadow slid across my desk, leaving behind a mysterious note. I glanced into the space between rows, but the messenger was already nowhere to be found. Who sent me this note? What could this carefully ripped out and neatly folded piece of paper be hiding from me? More threats and humiliation? Or... I took the piece of paper and carefully inhaled the wafting aroma. Blackberry. Inside was a message in beautiful handwriting. I'm waiting at a dead end near the dressing room. Come alone. What if it's a trick? What if it's Katya? Being a bully? Drunk on that sudden call, I immediately started walking, looking over my shoulder from time to time, making sure nobody followed me. Even though I suspected it could be another trap set by Romka and Bayasha at first, this buzzing thought left my mind. The two of them didn't have enough combined brain power to fake Polina's notes so carefully, but unless Katya was working with them. I didn't even notice how I almost broke into a run and jumped around the corner. As soon as I did that, I rammed into somebody inside the dark nook.
Ой!
It is Polina! Like a magic bird, a green notebook glided to my feet. Polina puffed her cheeks in exaggerated anger.
Петров! Да ты совсем зрение потерял.
Petrov, have you lost your sight completely? I fixed my glasses. My nearsightedness wasn't that embarrassing anymore. I bent down and picked up the notebook.
Прости, я так торопился. Ты меня ждала? Что случилось?
Sorry, I was in a rush. Were you waiting for me? Did something happen? Oh, her smile. Polina's attitude changed from fake anger to softness. She stood there silent, probably picking out the right words. She had a worried and sad look in her eyes, as if she hoped that I'd continue this conversation and stop us from drowning in this awkward silence. But I didn't say a word. I was just staring at her trembling lips. Finally, Polina heaved a deep sigh and started talking meekly.
Антон, скажи, ты на меня сильно злишься?
Anton, tell me, are you mad at me? I couldn't reply before she continued.
Ох, ну конечно сильно. Что за дурацкий вопрос такой?
Of course you are. What's with this stupid question?
Прости, пожалуйста, я не хотела, чтобы так вышло, честно.
I'm so sorry. I didn't mean for that to happen, honest.
Когда Пятифонов, этот изверг, пнул ту собачку,
When when that abuser kicked the doggy,
это словно и не я была, понимаешь?
it felt like I wasn't myself, you know? She sniffed, and even though it was already quite dark outside, I could notice her ocean-colored eyes sparkle. Okay, she did apologize. I am glad she apologized about that.
Да, так нельзя.
I know that it's wrong.
Нельзя смеяться над тем, как издеваются над животными.
It's wrong laughing at animal abuse.
Не знаю даже, что ты обо мне подумал.
I don't even want to think what your opinion of me must be.
Но я ничего не могу с собой поделать, Антон.
But I can't help it, Anton.
Стоит мне подумать о дедушке, что он пережил в тот день, когда на него напала эта стая бродячих псов, как...
As soon as I remember my grandpa and the horrors he had to endure on the night when he got attacked by that pack of stray dogs,
Мой разум словно затуманивается.
my mind becomes foggy. Polina's notebook in my hand was still waiting for me to return it to its rightful owner, but I just couldn't find the right moment to do that.
Ты, наверное, считаешь, что я чокнутая, да?
You probably think I'm crazy, right? She looked at me with hopeful eyes while I was absentmindedly going over all the crazy stuff that my subconscious was producing lately. I clearly wasn't qualified to judge someone's sanity.
Мне не всегда удается себя контролировать.
Sometimes I just can't control myself.
Но я точно не причинила бы кому-то вреда, слышишь?
But I'd never harm anyone, you hear?
Не то что этот садист Ромка.
Not like that sadist Romka.
Антон, прошу, держись от него подальше.
Please stay away from him, Anton. Something clicked in my head. I stared at Polina with suspicion.
Неделю назад, во время драки, ты называла его по-другому.
You called him differently a week ago when we were fighting.
Ромочкой. Скажи, вы что, встречаетесь?
Say, are you two dating? Polina jolted as if struck by lightning.
Еще чего? Этот урод ко мне приклеился, как банный лист.
No way! That asshole is stuck to me like a leech.
Такие, как он, не то что намеков. Грубых слов не понимают.
People like him are not even deterred by direct insults. Her voice became calmer when she noticed the bruises and cuts on my face.
Прости еще раз, что так вышло.
Again, I'm very sorry that happened.
Но я правда надеялась, что смогу помочь тебе.
I really thought I would be able to help you.
Зря я поверила, что у таких подонков может быть какой-то там кодекс чести.
It was my mistake to think that bastards like them can have any sort of moral code.
Вот, у меня есть для тебя подарок.
Here, I have a present for you. That's an odd present, Polina. What? She unbuttoned the top of her jacket and instantly got embarrassed after noticing my stunned look. He probably had the same look as me, like, in the school? In the school building? I love how she's like. Then she took an amulet on a thick leather thread with the big animal claw off her neck and held it out to me.
Этот оберег подарил мне дедушка.
Grandpa gifted me this charm.
Говорит, он помогает от всяких бесноватых и одержимых.
He said that it helps against crazy and possessed.
Он ему от одного шамана достался.
He got him from a certain shaman.
Можешь не верить, но когда дедушка забыл его надеть,
You don't have to
С ним
believe me,
случилось то
but the
несчастье.
tragedy that befell him happened on the only day when he forgot to wear it. I snuck another glance at the inn. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Then why would she give it to us? Does she have another one? Because what if something happens to her if she gives this to us? I snuck another glance at the intensely scratched claw of an unknown
А
beast.
чей он? Ну, в смысле, коготь.
And who did it belong to? The claw, I mean.
даже не знаю.
I don't know.
Может быть, медведя, а может и тигра.
A bear? Or a tiger, maybe.
Кого только не встретишь в нашем лесу.
You can find all sorts of animals in our forest.
В любом случае, пожалуйста, прими вместе с моими извинениями.
Anyway, please accept it, along with my sincere apology. Refuse or take? Oh, we're taking it.
Если для тебя это так важно.
Well, this is so important for you.
Хорошо, давай попробуем начать все с чистого листа.
All right, let's try to start over. Aww. I carefully took care of the amulet with my free hand. It emanated Polina's warmth and the charming aroma of blackberry. I hung it around my neck and hid it under the collar of my shirt, along with this gift. Ooh, another achievement. Shaman King, you accepted the amulet. I got a weird feeling of determination, as if this amulet would be able to change my life. Oh, look at her smile. Polina and I smiled at the same time, both of us feeling the ice wall between us slowly thaw.
Спасибо, Антон.
Thank you, Anton.
Для меня это действительно много значит.
This really means a lot to me. Polina studied me with her eyes and clicked her tongue.
А знаешь, на что ты похож, Антоша?
Do you know what you look like, Antosha?
На блюзовую импровизацию.
Like blues improv. I blinked in bewilderment.
Это как?
What do you mean?
Для меня все люди с чем-то ассоциируются.
I always associate people I know with something.
И для меня. Ну,
I
не
do
с
that too,
музыкой
but
же.
why music?
Вот как раз с музыкой.
It can't be anything other than music.
Бывают люди гитарные соло. Или барабанный бой. Или военный марш, как наша Лилия Павловна.
Some people are like guitar solos, some are drums. People like Lilia Pavlovna are war marches.
А ты такой
And you're so thoughtful,
задумчивый,
so mysterious,
таинственный.
sometimes
Иногда
even a
немного
bit sad.
печальный. Ты точно блюз.
You're definitely blues.
А почему импровизация?
What about the improv part?
А это когда слушатель не догадывается, куда свернет мелодия, какой темп возьмет.
It's when the listener has no idea where the melody will go, what tempo it will adopt. Of course, some of the things that Polina said went completely over my head, but I couldn't stop looking at her smile, light like a breeze in May, and her eyes deep and blue.
Чтобы распознать в тебе музыку, нужен опыт и вкус.
One needs to have experience and taste to recognize the music in you.
Это не какая-то там эстрада.
You're not some pop music.
Я, наверное, вообще не знаю, что такое этот блюз.
I don't think I even know what blues is. Oh no, now she's so disappointed. Polina gasped and frowned, which made her look even more beautiful.
Не произноси при мне такие слова. Я тебе обязательно дам кассету.
Don't say something like that to my face. I'll make sure to give you a cassette.
Раньше мне дедушка из города столько музыки привозил. И джаз, и свинг, и классику.
Grandpa used to bring me so much music from the city. Jazz, swing, and classical too.
Это он подметил, что у меня склад ума, как у музыканта.
He was the one to notice my musical mindset.
Я еще совсем маленькой пыталась на бумаге записать звуки природы.
When I was very little, I tried recording the sounds of nature on paper, the songs of the rain and the forest.
Эх, мне бы твои уши.
I wish I had ears like yours.
А мне бы твои глаза.
And I'd love to have your eyes. I tensed up, worried she was making fun of me, but Polina shook her head.
Да-да, я серьезно. У тебя глаза художника.
No, I'm serious. You have the eyes of an artist.
Смотришь на вещи и фиксируешь их. Я так не умею.
You're so good at picturing things. I can't do that. Uh-oh, here comes Katya. Katya walked past us with her trademark frosty glare. We dove into the shadows trying to escape it.
Теперь понимаешь, почему мы тут прячемся? Вот из-за таких, как она.
You understand why we were hiding here, right? Because of people like her.
А Катька какая мелодия.
And what kind of melody is Katya? Polina flashed me a sly smile.
Скрип несмазанных дверных петель.
The squeaking sound of unoiled door hinges.
Знаешь, такой мерзкий дискант.
You know, this nasty descant. I giggled, covering my mouth. Katya didn't hear our whispers, but she suddenly glanced over her shoulder, clearly annoyed. A moment later, she sighed and went her way. Yeah, good riddance. Friends only. I remembered about the notebook I was still clutching in my hand. I turned it in my hands. Instead of a subject name, the front side had the name of the owner and 2 words, friends only.
Любопытной Варваре кое-что оторвали.
Curiosity killed the cat, you know.
Прости, это анкета?
I'm sorry, is this a questionnaire?
Заполнял когда-нибудь?
Have you ever filled one?
Угу.
I lied that I had. In reality, girl classmates from my previous school had never asked me to fill their questionnaires. It was quite upsetting. I mean, it was a girl hobby. You just answer a set of standard questions about your favorite actors and colors, but entrusting someone with such a notebook was the sign of friendship. And maybe as something even more. Something I only had vague idea about.
Хочешь, заполни мою?
You can fill mine in, if you want. My heartbeat quickened.
Хочу, спасибо.
I do, thank you. Polina giggled.
А хотя, там же столько секретов.
Actually, there are so many secrets in there.
Наверное, лучше тебе не знать, о чем мы, девочки, думаем.
You'd be better off not knowing what we girls think. She reached for the notebook, playing with me. I tossed my finding into my free hand. Polina tried to intercept my move. She really is so beautiful, honestly. And again, I do like that she apologized. And after hearing her side, it does make sense. I mean, she did tell us what happened to her grandpa. And now we know how close her and her grandpa are. Like, they share a love of music together. And when those dogs made him paralyzed, it does make sense. So I don't dislike her anymore. Her hair briefly touched my face, tickling my nose with its silky locks. I sensed an aroma that immediately filled the whole world. Fragrant, alluring, lively. If only I could picture it, steal it for myself. I felt dizzy, but I gathered myself and spoke in a voice reminiscent of Lieutenant Tikhanov.
Ваша анкета является важнейшей уликой, и я вынужден временно изъять ее для изучения.
Your questionnaire is an important piece of evidence that I'm afraid I have to confiscate it for further examination. Polina covered her mouth that rounded in fake horror.
И что мне грозит за сокрытие улик?
And what are the implications of concealing evidence?
Следствие покажет.
We'll decide that in the course of our investigation.
Сдаюсь, товарищ милиционер.
I surrender, Mr. Policeman.
Только обещайте ничего не читать.
Just promise you won't read anything.
Здесь содержатся секретные сведения.
It's full of sensitive information.
Боюсь, что мне все-таки придется выяснить, не влюблен ли кто в гражданина Петрова.
I'm afraid I'll have to investigate whether someone is in love with Mr. Petrov. Polina bursted out laughing and pressed herself against my cheek, showering me with the aroma of her hair and her milky skin that looked almost transparent with tiny threads of veins running under it. Her whisper was hot, like a piece of butter sizzling on a pan.
Тогда поклянитесь, что не станете разглашать информацию.
Then swear that you will keep this information private.
Честная милицейская.
I swear on my police badge.
А теперь, Антоша, самое время поторопиться.
And now we need to hurry, Antosha. I took out the notebook during class, with utmost care as if it was some sort of fragile treasure. Questionnaire, look at all the hearts and stars. Skimmed through it, reading into other people's preferences. I was quite surprised to discover Romka's jerky handwriting inside. So here's Romka's. 6B Shefutinsky, February, hanging out, buying a BMW, Schwarzenegger, don't trust, don't fret, don't ask, 3/15/87, DuckTales by Yasha. His letters bulge out of the cells, as if embarrassed by their shapelessness. Fearsome Romka found time for something so silly? I chuckled into my fist after I found out that Romka's favorite cartoon is not Darkwing Duck, but DuckTales. Somewhere in the distance, a teacher was reciting pieces of Andreev's Snapper. I paid them no mind. Polina's page was decorated with flower drawings and clippings from the Cool Girl magazine. So 6B, Franz Schubert, what does that say? July birthday? Listening. See the World. Robert Schumann. Losing the People I Love. 32492. Town musician of Bremen. Grandpa. Her favorite musician is Schubert. Her best friend is her grandpa. Her hobby is not violin like I expected, but a much more mysterious listening. Can such a mundane process really be someone's hobby? I looked at Polina over the heads of the other students. She was focused on taking notes. Questions. What's your name? What class are you in? Your favorite music? Your favorite holiday? Your hobby? What's your dream? Your hero? Your biggest fear? Your phone number? Your favorite cartoon? Your best friend? I flipped the pages until I found a blank one and armed myself with a pen. Anton Petrov, class 6B. I took a long time to decide on my favorite musician until a trendy pop band Carman came to mind with the cool dancers in their music videos. Favorite holiday? That's easy, New Year's. My hobby is drawing. My dream? Going to Disneyland, I guess. My hero? My hand moved on its own, writing. Who's gonna write Dad? I stopped on those 2 letters. What if those who read this after me will find my answer laughable and stupid? After thinking for a bit, I decided that not everything should be disclosed on paper. That's how Dad turned into Spider-Man. The spelling was wrong, but who cares? That's even more silly in my opinion. Who's your hero, Spider-Man, when he's 13 years old? To me, that's almost as silly as saying like Santa Claus at that age. Oh my gosh, Spider-Man. Your biggest fear, huh? I immediately wrote losing a person who's dear to me. Your phone number. No secret here. Your favorite cartoon. Transformers. Your best friend. Olya, of course. I hesitated, gnawing on the pin's cap. Your best friend. I read the question out loud. It was easy, but at the same time very important. My answer consisted of 3 letters, and I filled them in the cells with care. You. I'm surprised it wasn't Olya, but that's so sweet. You, I repeated when running out of the school. Refreshing frosty air made my cheeks turn beet red. It was bright outside, and the sun looked like a whole egg yolk. The road looked as if it was silver. The snow sparkled under the sunlight. I smiled, squinting from the blinding whiteness. There was also something magical in my chest that beckoned me, because friendship can grow into something bigger.
Слышь, хорош рыбу тянуть.
Uh-oh. Hey, what's up with that stupid grin? My numb lips immediately shrank. Bayasha was shuffling his feet in the middle of the yard, his boots restless on the
Я не
ice.
тяну.
It's not a grin. I tried to go around, to no avail. Lady Fortune waved me goodbye, disappearing in the early twilight.
Торопишься на?
In a hurry, eh?
Немного. Меня папа ждет.
A little bit. Dad is waiting for me.
Я ему тиркну на пейджер, что ты не придешь на.
I'll shoot him a pager message that you're not coming, eh? My eye flinched unwittingly. My skin dampened.
Идем на, к тебе дельце есть.
Let's go, eh? We have a small business to discuss. I felt chills run all over my body. I didn't like the sounds of that small business. Those words accompanied by spitting normally hid very dark deeds underneath them. Strangers that used to call our old apartment used to say, "Get your old man, we have a small business to discuss." Bayasha turned around. He looked like an astronaut in this tight hood. If I were to imagine him as a sound, he'd be a deafening whistle, a signal given by someone who stands to watch. To my demise, there was nobody at the backyard. Apart from the grim-faced Romka, he stood there, his feet wide apart, with his right hand hidden behind his back. It's the knife again, isn't it? Romka's dry lips were tightly pursed. He kept shooting glances at me as he looked around. From the bottom of my heart, I hoped that Romka hadn't seen me together with Polina.
Привел на.
There he is, eh?
Вижу.
I can see that.
Ну, здорово.
Well, hello there,
Antosha.
Antosha.
Что тебе нужно?
What do you want? He slowly took out a thin, carnivorously shiny blade from behind his back. A knife, the steel butterfly of death that flies toward the victim's heartbeat. I stepped back instinctively and rammed my back into Bayasha. Romka's minion pushed me
А
back.
мы с Бешей хотели узнать.
We wanted to know.
Ты не держишь на нас обиду?
Do you have any hard feelings for me or Bayasha? Romka started picking on his yellow nail, looking at me with an evil smirk on his face.
Ну, там, в лесу. Были немного грубы с тобой.
Well, there in the forest, we kind of roughed you up. It's just our poor upbringing, you know?
Да, до вас, городских, далеко.
Yeah, not as cultured as you city folk.
Вот порой нас и заносит.
So we get feisty sometimes. I nodded, my eyes glued to the knife.
Скажи, Антоша,
Say, Antosha,
я тебя в последний раз не сильно огрел?
did I, by any chance, go too hard on you last time?
Да нет.
Not really.
Ну и славно.
Wonderful.
А то я затревожился, что память тебе отбил. И ты запамятовал, о чем мы втолковывали.
I almost got worried that I damaged your brain and you forgot about the lesson I taught you.
Я помню.
I remember. The blade glowed under the setting sun, and Romka's eyes had the same evil glow. He stepped toward me, his knife traveling inches from my coat. One movement and steel would cut into the cloth, and if he pushes deeper,
Нам одна птичка напела. Ты опять возле Полины отирался?
a little bird told us you were snooping around about Polina again. I was so scared that it took me a while to remember who Polina was. My brain was malfunctioning. My knees were shaking. Suddenly, our class rep slowly walked up to Ronka from behind, so Katya did see us.
О, смотрю, мальчики, вы нашли общий язык.
I see you boys are getting along quite well.
За мной должок, Катька.
I owe you one, Katya.
Ой, не благодари, Ромочка. Я всегда на страже настоящей любви.
Oh, no need to thank me, Romka. I'm always fighting for true love.
Да-да-да.
Yes, yes, yes. I'll kill you, I swear.
Так, я не слышу. Ты к Полине подходил или нет?
I can't hear you. Were you near Polina or not?
Мы так болтали.
Well, we didn't hang out or anything.
Болтать будешь кишками, когда я тебе брюхо вскрою.
The only thing hanging out here will be your guts when I cut open your stomach. The blade slid across my sleeve with its dull side and reached my collar. The wind made my face cold, but a bead of sweat still trickled from my temple.
Наверное, мне надо объяснить так, чтоб ты понял.
I guess I'll need to explain it in a way you'll understand. Oh no, not again. First a fist and now a knife? The split up handle and the blade spun in a dangerous dance, just like helicopter blades that sweep away everything in their way. I tried to dodge, but after taking a step backward, I slipped and fell on my butt. If waiting for this opportunity, Polina's amulet lunged from under the collar toward the blade. The leather cord prevented the claw from piercing the amulet's neck. The charm fell to my chest with a thud. So it actually protected us. I expected to be cut so badly that I ended up choking on my own blood. But for some reason, Romka just stood there staring at me. He had his knife ready to cut, but his eyes were fixated on the bauble hanging from my neck. He growled something evil under his breath. Polina's gift was driving Romka crazy, but it tied his hands at the same time. The pause lasted so unnaturally long that it made Bayasha frown in confusion. The sound of a creaking window opening up came from above. The teacher! I felt the rush of adrenaline and sprinted away, almost taking off into the air. Romka came to his senses when I was already far away, so he shouted his dreadful warning at my back.
Попробуй еще раз позабудь!
Don't you dare forget again!
Антоша!
Antosha! I love how Antosha! I love how he says it with such anger. The aftertaste of horrible water I drank down my meds with lingered in my mouth. My thoughts were focused on Polina.
Да, ага.
Oh, there's Olya. His sister is so adorable.
И они в школу ходили.
Да-да.
Вот. И у них был какой-то праздник, и они там поделки лепили и делали все своими руками. Нужно было сначала принести природные материалы, листики всякие там, потом еще шишки, и потом они все это...
I wandered around the house feeling intoxicated and nodded to everything my sister said without trying to discern her words.
И ящички,
Да,
в которые
да.
потом подарки нужно было
Да,
класть.
ага.
Olya was talking nonstop, at times lifting up her arms and laughing, only to then suddenly go quiet and give me mom's signature gnarly look.
А?
She's like, "You're not listening to me." I was yanked out of the prison of my own mind, where seething thoughts pecked at my brain like harpies, stopping me from coming back to reality. I stared back. Olya looked like a mini version of our mom right now. Well, to be precise, she looked like the person Mom turned into when we moved here, with her intimidating posture and her eyebrows directed toward the ceiling.
Ты меня не слушал, так?
You weren't listening to me, were you? She tried spitting out those words and made copying facial expressions of the person she spent almost all her free time with. For a moment, I felt like the light Olya exuded all these years waned and wavered in the wind of prolonged changes. Very soon, my beautiful princess would turn into the dragon that was once guarding her prison tower. That thought was so much scarier to me than any other horror sneaking up to me from the future.
Оля, прости.
Sorry,
Ты
Olya.
не сердишься, правда?
I didn't want to make you
Я просто
mad.
задумался.
I just got lost in thought. I looked around the room, my gaze jumping from one object to another like a hungry beast, trying to find anything that could distract
А
Olya.
давай в приставку поиграем.
Let's play the console. Olya pouted, but there was a spark of interest in her small emerald eyes. The Snow Queen's eye shard inside them started thawing.
А как же второй джойстик? Не работает же.
And what about the second controller? It's not working.
А папе починить некогда.
And Dad has no time to fix it.
Можем из пистолета пострелять.
We can play with the light gun.
Ковбоев или уток. Хочешь?
What do you want to play? Cowboys? Ducks? Cowboy ducks? Both? Cowboy ducks. Cowboy or ducks? You're better than me at both.
Да ладно тебе.
Oh, come
Аня
on.
целый день тренировалась,
You
пока
must have
меня
been
дома не
practicing the
было.
whole time I was away from home. Olya burst out laughing. Her heart was warm once again. How did you know?
Я сейчас знаешь, какая меткая. Считай, уже проиграл.
But I'm a good shooter now. You've already lost.
Не на того напала. Включай скорее.
You picked the wrong fight. Here, come on, turn it on. Open. We got to put our other thing in there. Okay, so I forgot to mention, because some of you might be wondering, how in the world did that paper get there? So I did go back to the first episode because I realized that whenever we tricked our mom to go fix the TV that wasn't actually broken, we could grab this off the fridge, and I forgot to grab that. So that's where we got the phone number of the police officer. I hid Simon's signet ring in my desk drawer. I was still unsure whether I did the right thing by stealing a crucial piece of evidence from the police. Then I relocated to my sister's room. Little Olya jumped toward the TV set, and after flicking the power switch, started blindingly feeling around the backside of the photon, trying to plug the console's cable into the antenna input. Bits of TV shows started flashing on the CRT screen. When I armed myself with the remote to look for the channel with the sought-after Dindy signal.
Что дома интересного происходило?
Did anything interesting happen at home? It was a mundane question for me. I didn't put any actual meaning behind it. But Olya's expression suddenly changed. She lost all of the childish nonchalantness she worked so hard to acquire
Оль,
before.
Что-то случилось?
What happened, Olya? My sister managed to put the cable in its place and started brushing off her dust-covered hand. She was clearly looking for the courage to continue the conversation.
Мама,
Mom, she... Olya went silent, and for a moment I thought I saw tears welling up in her eyes.
у нее опять был этот страшный.
She had this scary thing happen to her again? My sister looked at me with wet eyes.
Приступ.
She had a fit, huh? This has happened before, but it was a rare occasion. Now that we'd moved to this godforsaken place, Mom's fits rose in frequency.
Папа принес большую рыбу.
Dad brought home a big fish.
В газету была завернута и пахло так.
It was wrapped in a newspaper and had a foul smell.
А мама опять начала злиться. Потом взяла нож.
Mom got angry again, and then she took a knife. Olya squirmed, looking fearfully out the window.
Начали громко ругаться. И
They started screaming at each other. I froze, imagining my little sister so small and unnoticeable, standing in the kitchen doorway. She wasn't even trying to hide. Our parents just paid her no mind at all.
мама ударила.
And then Mom struck it. Like this. Olya slightly moved her fist downward, imitating a strike.
Рыбу.
She hit the fish.
Она живая тоже. Ей было больно. А мама...
It was still alive, Tosha. It must have been in pain. And Mom. It was easy to imagine what happened next. The writhing fish with the blade between its fins, squirting some foul-smelling musk into Mom's face. Whenever death got this close to Mom, be it when a person was hit by a bus in front of us and their blood was smeared all over the windshield, or when Grandma chopped off a chicken's head, Mom would always get into a weird, dreadful fit. Her eyes rolled over. She would fall on her face like a freshly cut tree and started writhing just like that agonizing fish, turning over chairs and blurting out bits of scary sentences.
Папа, он ей помог?
What about Dad? Did he help her? Olya shuddered, as if remembering it pained her.
Но вначале
Yes, but at first,
он засмеялся тоже.
he started laughing, Tosha.
Страшно. Когда увидел, что маме плохо.
He let out an evil laugh when he saw Mom was in trouble.
Потом вдруг заплакал.
But then he cried. Olya's story made me raise an eyebrow. It seemed like the forest oozing madness had not only completely consumed her mom, but also infected our strong and courageous dad. I quickly stepped toward Olya and locked her in a tight embrace. She dug her face into my chest and I could feel my shirt becoming wet.
Зачем они так издеваются друг над другом тоже?
Why are they bullying each other, Tosha?
Они сумасшедшие.
Are they crazy? I stuttered, unable to justify the actions of our parents. I had ran out of words and all I could think to do was hug Olya tighter. Olya screamed and hid behind me.
Переключи скорей.
Turn it off quick! No matter how many times she saw this intro, she would always react the same, just like when she saw that owl. I mean, I also got goosebumps every time this ghastly face appeared on the screen, so I immediately complied with my sister's request. All right, time to play. Dun, dun, dun. She beat us last time. Let's see if we can beat her. 999. Finally, the game selection screen showed up for the cartridge that was bundled with the console. Too bad most of the names here were just different levels of the same game. I picked up the gray rectangular controller and started looking around the pixel letters to find the familiar English word for duck. Background music from the menu soothed Olya's mind, and she asked me in a calm voice,
А как твои дела в школе?
"How are things at school?"
Я с одной девочкой подружился.
I became friends with a girl.
Она красивая?
Is she pretty? I got embarrassed.
Ну, я не знаю.
Well, I don't know.
Ты засмущался. Значит, очень красивая.
Ha, you're red. She must be pretty.
Перестань, Оль.
Stop it, Olya.
Влюбился.
You got a crush on her.
Оля, блин, сейчас не буду с тобой играть.
Olya, keep acting like this and I won't play with you.
Да я пошутила.
I was joking.
А ты нас познакомишь?
Will you introduce us?
Ну, может быть.
Maybe.
А как ее зовут?
What's her name?
Полина.
А ты покраснел.
You turned red again.
А где вы будете жить, когда поженитесь?
Where will you live when you get married?
Мы будем играть или нет?
Are we playing or not? I plugged the light gun into the second controller port, listening to my sister's laughs.
Чуря первая.
I go first. Player 1, get ready. So Olya goes first. Oh gosh, I'm scared. Oh my gosh, I'm terrible at this. I got 2. Ah, it keeps moving.
Ну-ка, от винта.
Okay, so who won? She beat us by 500 points. Let's get dangerous. All right, here's round 2. We can do better. We can do better. We got this. All right, come on. Come on, Anton. Come on. Oh, no, I thought I got both, but I didn't. I am not good at this. Oh my gosh. we're doing this again. We're doing this again.
Кто на новенького?
Ha, who wants some more? Final round, and then we're trying it again. We're doing a rematch. She's so excited, though. We're doing it again.
Пиф-паф, ой-ой-ой, умирает зайчик мой.
Okay, she got 3,000. We got to beat 3,000. Oh, I didn't know it was going to go up. Oh my gosh, she beat us. She beat us by 500 again. We're going to catch up. We're going to catch up. We're going to catch up. I have faith. We're going to catch up. We got this.
Поиграли и будет.
Meanie, you made your sister upset. So I unplugged it so I could go back and try again. So we got an achievement for that. Love it.
Many, many minutes later.
I got them all. I got them all. Perfect. Plus 500.
Я тебе поддалась.
Plus 500 if you get perfect? Oh, crap.
Это ты виноват, что я промазала.
No, she's getting sad. Boo. It's your fault I missed. Got it. We made it to the 2,000.
Неситова! Ты ближе к экрану стоял! Я с тобой так больше не играю!
This doesn't count. You were closer to the screen. I'm not playing with you anymore. Y'all, if y'all knew how long it took me to beat her, this was probably my 12th or 13th try.
Антон! Антон!
My mom only managed to get through to me on her third attempt.
Антон, тебя к телефону!
Anton, there's a call for you.
Что какая-то?
It's a girl. I sobered up in an instant and rushed to the hallway.
Не споткнись, смотри.
Watch your step. I grabbed the phone, pressed it to my chest, looking at my mom. She shrugged and went into the room, gathering the toys thrown around by Olya as she went.
Алло?
У твоей мамы такой молодой голос.
Your mom has such a nice young voice.
А, ну да. Она сама молодая.
Well, yeah, I mean, she is young.
Не мешаю?
Are you busy right now?
Нет, что ты.
No, of course not. If only she knew how costly this conversation could be for me, what risks I took on just answering this call. There was a pen and a shabby notepad lying on the nightstand. I picked them up and started moving the tip of the pen across paper, producing chaotic doodles that always ended up turning into hearts.
Я прочла твои ответы.
I've read your
Тебе
answers.
действительно Кармен нравится?
Do you really like Carman?
Мне, если по правде, русский рок больше нравится.
I like Russian rock more, to be
Но я
honest.
почему-то постеснялся это
But
написать.
I was too embarrassed to put it there for some reason.
А хочешь, Антоша, и я честной буду?
And do you want me to be honest with you too, Antosha?
Конечно.
Of course. My pen drew an outline of a girl's face, her eyes, her long eyelashes. Polina spoke in a hushed voice, probably to keep her grandpa from hearing.
Здесь ужасно тоскливо.
I'm bored to death here.
Дома?
At home?
В поселке.
In the village.
Здесь никогда ничего не происходит.
There's
если
nothing going on
происходит,
here.
то всякая
And if
гадость.
there is, it's always something nasty.
Дело даже не в
And it's
пропавших.
not even about the missing kids.
Здесь
There's
музыки
almost no
мало.
music here.
Но у тебя же кассеты есть.
Don't you have cassettes?
Я не про записи.
I'm not talking about audio records.
Я про... Ну, голос этого места.
I mean, this place's voice.
Он не мелодичный. Все шуршит, как патефонная игла, скрипит, воет изредка.
It's not melodic at all. It's rustling like a record player needle. It just squeaks and moans from time to time.
Неуютно.
It feels
Тесно очень.
uncomfortable, suffocating.
Не знаю, как объяснить
I
тебе.
don't know how else to explain it. My pen's tip dropped at a house surrounded by tall
Кажется, я
trees.
тебя понимаю.
I think I know what you
Моя
mean.
сестренка говорит, что чувствует себя заточенной в темницу.
My little sister says that she feels like a prisoner here.
Вот и я. Я очень люблю дедушку.
Me too, but I love Grandpa. I don't want to abandon him.
Порой так хочется убежать.
Sometimes I just want to
Далеко-далеко.
escape so badly, somewhere very far away. Into the forest, I thought half-heartedly, to run under the falling snowflakes that make your fur white and the branches that hide from your prying eyes.
Я, когда рисую, будто путешествую.
When I draw, I feel like I'm transported to another place.
У меня так же со скрипкой.
It's the same for me and the violin.
Убегаю по смычку в небо.
I ran up the bow straight to the sky. I realized I was drawing a butterfly knife. I crossed it over. Thinking of Ramka ruined my mood. Before I could reply, Olya descended the stairs. She was holding some book in a pink cover. Encyclopedia of a Young Lady.
Ты долго еще?
Will you take long? I covered the headset with my hand.
Я разговариваю.
I'm in the middle of a conversation.
Что случилось?
What happened?
Почитай мне, пожалуйста.
Read me a bedtime story, please.
Мама уснула.
Mom fell asleep.
Иди к себе, я сейчас.
Go to your room. I'll be there in a minute.
Только быстрее, ладно?
Just be quick, okay?
Ладно.
Fine. My last reply sounded excessively annoyed. I sighed, watching my sister running up the stairs.
Прости, надо бежать.
Sorry, I need to run.
Мне тоже.
Me too.
Спасибо, что выслушал.
Thank you for lending an ear. My ear vibrated from the buzzing sounds. I dragged my feet to the second floor, thinking of the girl I shouldn't have talked to if I don't want to die from a knife wound. I wish I could tell Dad, ask for his manly advice, but he doesn't show up home until late at night because of his new job. My parents don't have time for me, to put it lightly.
Ну, где твоя книжка?
Where's your book? I stuttered. The kids' room was empty.
Оль.
Olya? She probably snuck into my room. I started walking down the corridor. The room was infested with shadows. The blinds were wavering like there was someone hiding behind them. I smiled, sneaked toward the window, and threw open the curtain.
Попалась!
Gotcha! There was nobody behind the cloth. The window was a TV screen showing winter scenery. The lamppost, the field, and a couple of walking figures in the middle of it. Alisa and Olya! I gasped and pressed my fist to my mouth, sinking my teeth into it. Alisa was leading Olya into the thicket. I needed less than a minute to hurriedly dress and rush out of the house. My heart was beating like a firing machine gun. The wind carried the cold, resonant smell of coniferous trees from the forest. Freezing air crackled somewhere in the field. The two shadows loomed in front of the gate. I could only recognize them as my sister and the fox girl because of her height. I ran toward the fence, listening to the howling wind and the squeaking snow. One of the figures moved and slowly glided toward the thicket like an ice skater. I slowed down and touched my glasses, trying in vain to adjust my vision to the surrounding darkness. Worry landed on my shoulders like a weightless snowflake. A snake woke up on my belly and started writhing. I felt nauseous. I thought about my home, the flimsy fortress I'd left behind. I finally caught up to my sister, dressed only in a coat.
Оля!
Olya,
Видел лисичку?
have you seen the foxy?
Оля, зачем ты вышла на улицу?
Olya, why did you go outside?
Если мама узнает...
If mom finds out... My sister froze in place, facing the taiga. She was in a hand's reach, and I put my numb wrist on her shoulder for some reason, probably to make sure it wasn't a dream. A pointy beak was directed at me, strewn with feathers that formed an owl face. Something wearing a bird mask was staring at me.
Не узнает.
She won't. The voice sounded exactly like Olya's, but there was somebody else hiding behind the feathers in the carton. I sprinted away as if I got whipped. The masked creature only pretended to be Olya, just to lure me out. I was running like crazy, drowning in snow. The house in front of me was rapidly growing. The yellow light in its windows granted me hope. My mom and sister are there, my salvation. I couldn't hear anything from behind me, as if nobody was chasing me. Maybe it's because owls can fly. I was already climbing the porch when I noticed another figure. From the soot-black shadow of my house, a scruffy wolf cub crawled out and stood in my way. Its movements were jerky, chaotic, as if it was performing some terrifying dance or convulsing during a stroke. And even though I could clearly see the wolf face was a mask, something in this werewolf's convulsions made me freeze in place. The boy in a wolf's costume rubbed his side against the porch post and fell to his knees. He bent his back so hard that I expected his spine to crack. The beast's eyes shone, but he didn't attack. He kept crawling around and running on all fours. I stood to my feet, my mouth agape, trying to keep him in my line of sight. Something was trickling from the slit in the mask. Vicious drops fell to the wooden planks. Saliva. Some unknown force pushed me in the back, whispering me to save myself. The fence was flashing by at the edge of my vision. I was running. I was running in another direction this time, toward the toothy edge of the forest that smelled of pine. My heartbeat measured time. The wolf boy growled behind my back as if he forgot his human nature. My right leg got stuck in the snow, laid-in cavity. I yanked it out, cursing under my breath, and fell to the ground. Plastering snow prevented me from standing up, from propping myself against anything. But my unbound thirst for life helped me get out of the trap. Darkness was creeping closer, like the toxic fumes of burial pyres. I ran again, gasping for air that stung my throat. My hair swayed in the wind. I lost my hat when I fell, and my ears were now hot from the freezing cold while most of my body was still sweaty. The field finally ended. After realizing that running into the forest wasn't the smartest decision I could make, I dove into the line of trees. I ran without stopping, my face covered with one of my palms. I didn't want to lose an eye to some random branch. Branches whipped my clothes, pricked my skin like butchers that were herding a pig into the grinder. A knot of roots sprouting from the ground grabbed at my foot. I rammed into the scratchy trunk, slid down to its base, and looked around in a panic.
Ух, какой ты быстрый!
Phew! You're so fast! My first desire was to dash toward her and hug her. I resisted it and squeezed myself even tighter into the pine.
Что ты здесь делаешь?
You, what are you doing here?
Да вот,
This and that. She was holding the hat I lost.
находок подрабатываю.
Working part-time in Lost and Found.
Надевай.
Put it on or your ears will freeze and maybe even fall off soon. She giggled. I squinted in suspicion and shifted my gaze back and forth between her and the hat, scared that Alisa might be holding a severed head or something even more sinister. But in the end, my hat turned out to just be my hat. Take? Guess we have to. There's no option to refuse. I took it and pulled it over my forehead. Feeling warmer? I didn't reply.
Там во дворе были какие-то дети.
There were some children in the yard.
Что, покусали тебя, что ли?
And? Did they bite you or something?
Нет.
No.
А чего же ты убежал?
Then why did you run away? The answer was obvious, but after rolling the thought on my tongue, I mumbled.
Не знаю.
I don't know.
Эх, обещала не обзывать тебя дурачком.
Ah, why did I promise to never call you a dunce again?
А я обещание
Oh well,
исполняю.
I keep my promises. She walked up to me and grabbed me by the elbow. I sensed the familiar aroma of mint oranges and burnt sparklers. I wanted to lean into Alice, to savor the minute details of her smell.
Сколько можно повторять? Со мной ты в безопасности.
How many times do I need to tell you? You're safe as long as you're with me.
Я твой друг.
I'm your friend.
И они.
And they are too. I quickly turn around toward the place the fox girl was pointing to. The ones that we saw dancing on the first episode. Kids in masks appeared in the clearing. At least they looked like kids since they were all pretty short. I wonder if one of them was Vova, and I wonder if the other one is Simon, but they're possessed? A wolf boy, an owl girl, and a bear boy. They all huffed and gasped for air, clearly tired from running around.
Я думала, ты в снег провалился.
I thought you fell through the snow.
Стала снег копать, нет тебя.
Started digging around, but couldn't find you.
А я не копал. Лень копать было.
Yeah, I feel like that is Simon. And I didn't care enough.
А ну как получается? Если дурак, ты бегай да копай.
You see, if you're dumb, you run around and dig.
А если умный, подожди, пока другие набегаются, накопаются и устанут.
And if you're smart, you wait until the others get tired of running around and digging.
И уж тогда заводи разговор.
Then you start talking.
Как я рад!
You're a rat.
Дегенерат!
А?
Не обращай внимания, он со странностями.
Don't mind him, he's a weirdo. I stood there, stupefied, my mouth agape and my hands dangling helplessly. I had no idea how to react to the words of these late-night guests, but I managed to squeeze out something resembling a smile.
Вы просто меня напугали.
You just scared me, that's all. They started looking at each other, and somebody even snorted, as if I said something funny.
Да, да, лиса права!
I love the wolf's voice the best. Yes, yes, the fox is right. I wish I could roll my R's, I can't.
Это он.
He's the one.
Нет, это наш!
No, this is our.
Неужели нашли?
Have we finally found him?
Наш зайчик.
Our bunny.
Да-да, похож.
Yes, he looks the part. The wolf boy started wagging a part of his costume like it was his tail in excitement. First.
Ну, конечно, ты первый.
Of course you were first.
Волчик раньше всех почуял зайчика в тебе и рассказал нам.
Wolfie here was the first to sense the bunny in you. He told us about you.
Здравствуй.
Hello.
С нашей совушкой ты знаком не понаслышке. Не такая уж она и страшная, правда?
And you've already met our Hootie before. She isn't that scary, is she?
Да, наверное.
I guess.
А этот улыбчивый бугай — медвежутка.
And this smiling big boy is Teddy.
Лучше с ним поласковее, а то голову откусит.
Be mindful with him or he'll chew your head off.
Зачем это?
What?
Да, смотрю, ты чувство юмора где-то обронил.
I see you've dropped your sense of humor somewhere on the way here. I was still unsure if these peculiar little animals had the best intentions in mind, so I hid my hands behind my back, trying to look away from the gaping holes of their carnival masks. Alyssa put her hands to her sides in a theatrical manner and somehow managed to wink with her fox face.
Когда в следующий раз придем, будем звенеть в колокольчики, чтобы ты не так боялся нашего визита.
The next time we come, we'll ring bells for you. That way you'll be less scared of our visit.
У нас разве есть колокольчики?
Do we have any bells?
Чур, я звенеть не буду.
I won't be ringing.
У меня лапка болит.
My parts. My smile was no longer fake.
О, зубы показал. Это добрый знак.
Oh, you showed us your teeth. That's a good sign.
Не ожидала, что сможем тебя рассмешить.
I didn't expect you to find us fun.
Я думала, это под силу только Диснейленду.
I thought it was an emotion reserved strictly to Disneyland.
Откуда ты знаешь?
How do you know that?
Да так, прочитала кое-где.
I read about it somewhere.
Про меня?
You read about me?
Про клюв от воробья. Про Диснейленд яхонтовый.
Aren't you funny? No, about Disneyland, darling.
Ты умеешь читать по-человечески?
You can read, human?
Зря я, что ли, в школу хожу день ото дня.
Do you think I've been going to school every day for nothing? And then she sang in a coquettish voice.
Как детей не замечать, как мечты их развенчать. Учат в школе, учат в школе, учат в школе. Крепко-накрепко вломить, с детства слабеньких чморить. Учат в школе, учат в школе, учат в школе.
Hey! Oh my gosh. Wait, what are some of the lyrics? Where to hit kids every week, way to prey on all the meek, at your local school, of course, and in your classroom. I don't actually know the melody, but there you go. I let out a cautious laugh. My new acquaintances didn't seem scary anymore. On the contrary, they looked friendly and welcoming. There was something about them that attracted me. Just like this clearing, this moon and the snowflakes that fell backwards from the ground to the sky, as if someone was rewinding a tape. The masked kids got close and I felt their touch. They gave me friendly taps, felt my clothes as if checking whether I was real. There was no animalistic malice in their touch, only pure childish curiosity. For some reason, I thought to myself, I can trust them. Snowflakes just kept on floating upwards.
Никто тебя больше не обидит.
Nobody will hurt you anymore.
Друг,
Friend. I still wish I could roll my R's.
пусть только попробуют.
Wait, his hand. His hand. Ooh, he punched us. I really, sorry, microphone. I really think that's Simon. I really do. But like possessed. Yeah, and if somebody even tries to. The fox gave me a slight tug and burst out laughing.
Тоша, убежишь с воплями? Или
Well
с
then,
нами
Tosha.
пойдешь?
Will you run away screaming or come with us?
Куда?
Where to?
На аттракционы!
To the amusement park. At that moment, Tega's deception silence was broken by the sound of a distant flute. Mesmerizing and alluring, it brought about the ring of crystal glass and the whispers of a fresh winter spring. If I had doubts before, the flute song shattered the last of them. I was hoping it would give us a choice because I would have chose to run away because I want my focus to be Polina this time, and then I was going to focus on Alisa in our next playthrough. I started following my new friends before I could even make my decision. My legs carried me off on their own will, and the tunnels made of pine stepped apart. Bushes bowed in front of our procession. Everything looked dreamlike. Because even the clearing we ended up on, I only saw in my dream. Poor Olya. Olya, are we leaving her behind? The flute soared up the treetops like some fantastical bird. The snowflakes floated up in a spiral. The moon painted tree branches with silver. Alisa gasped in amazement. I was also in awe. I tilted my head backwards as far as I could see.
Красиво как.
What a sight.
Очень красиво.
It's so beautiful. Wolfie howled in agreement.
Мелочи.
This is nothing.
Я покажу
I
гораздо
can show you
больше,
much more
если захочешь.
if you want. I did want. I wanted to see what the fox girl saw with her eyes, hidden in the semi-dark of her cape. Now I didn't feel weird about these masked kids. I felt weird for being the only one without a mask. I felt like I was naked in the January winds.
Скажите, а зачем вам маски?
Why do you even wear these masks? I was trembling, but I wasn't scared. My trembling wasn't caused by the cold. It originated from the peculiar anxiousness, the anticipation of something amazing.
Тебе зачем?
And why do you ask? I touched my cold
Я
cheek.
без маски.
I'm not wearing one.
Обожаю человеческие сказки.
I love human tales.
Человеческие ласки.
Human nails.
Человеческие дрязги.
Human fails.
Я же говорила,
I've already told you.
все жители поселка носят маски.
All the villagers wear masks. Villagers, isn't that where Polina lives?
Только скрываются за ними отнюдь не люди.
It's just you won't find anything human underneath them.
И даже я?
Even me?
Ты такой рассеянный, Антон.
You're so clumsy, Anton.
Однажды мы уже нашли твои очки.
We've already found your glasses once already.
И шапку.
And your grat.
И твое настоящее лицо.
And your real face. I looked at the mask the fox was holding out to me. The bunny mask that looked like a silver ingot under the moonlight. I was curious to see the world through its slits. I meant ingot. Oh, I can't even refuse to take the mask. Ah. Suddenly, fighting its way through the flute's melody, a thought came to me. The glasses they found were in Simon's possession. My new acquaintances must know what happened to him, or even worse.
А куда подевался Семён? Что с ним стало?
And where did Simon disappear to? What happened to him?
И с остальными детьми?
And the other children? The bear and the owl looked at each other. The wolf boy curled into a ball, and the fox lowered the pointy nose of her mask.
Кого держали в клетке?
The one who was kept in a cage.
Тот, кто режет мелко-мелко.
The one who cuts into little pieces.
Тот, кто носит кожаное лицо, забрал их.
The one who wears a skin face took them.
Умел бы я креститься, перекрестился бы.
If I knew how to cross myself, I'd do it.
Хотите сказать, это был человек?
So you're saying it was a human?
Чем ты только слушал?
Were you listening to us?
Разве можно назвать такого, как он?
How can you call someone like him human?
Одно слово — взрослый.
There's just one word for him, an adult.
В мире взрослых так легко потеряться.
It's so easy to get lost in the adult world.
Убийцы, жестокие дрессировщики и равнодушные родители.
Killers, cruel animal trainers, and cold parents.
Лучше об этом вовсе не...
If you don't want to get sad, better not to think about them.
Не знаю, как вам, а мне печалиться совсем не
I
хочется.
don't know about you, but I definitely don't want to be sad.
И я сегодня какой-то не грустный.
Somehow, I'm also not sad today.
Антон, а ты?
What about you, Anton?
Huh?
I was lost in thought, staring at the pines, trying to pinpoint the location of the flute. I was sure that the person who played it was standing right behind the piney stockade. Someone tall going over the holes in the flute with their long fingers.
Сядем тосковать или займемся отдыхом?
What now? Are we gonna sit and be sad and have some fun?
Алиса хотела что-то показать.
Alyssa wanted to show me something.
Давай начнем с самой сладкой части программы.
Let's start with the sweet stuff. The fox girl took out a handful of candy from her pocket and handed them to each of the kids. Covers shuffled. The smell of pineapple, cocoa, and melon wafted through the air. Ew? The last treat, a chocolate-covered waffle candy. Alyssa put it right in my mouth. My tongue was engulfed in spiciness. I felt like my body was covered in fur and small sparks were running along it. I chewed on the waffle and the chocolate, gulped them down, enjoying the vivid taste.
Спасибо.
Thanks. My gratitude was barely audible because my lips were already touching the insides of a mask. I didn't even notice how I put it against my face. The paper mache was warm. The mask stuck to my skin, giving it a nice prickle. The kind when you dive into a hot bath after being outside in winter when you lie there and purr from the soapy water.
Красиво же! Это твое!
See, I told you this is yours.
Моё.
Mine?
Чего стоим? За нас веселиться никто не будет.
What are we waiting for? The fun won't have itself.
И то верно.
You're right. The melody kept swirling in the field like a hurricane. I couldn't wait to release the energy, the heat that this enchanting music was filling me with. The owl jumped and disappeared into the sky. I heard her laughter from somewhere above, and then she landed back, huffing and sighing.
Ты так можешь. Попробуй.
You can do it too. Give it a try. I followed suit. My feet tore off from the ground. I flew toward the stars like a rocket and screamed from happiness after seeing my friends down below. The wind helped me fly. It felt like I was jumping on a huge trampoline. The stars looked like vivid sparkles that I could reach and lick up. The moon also got closer, and then I plunged. I got scared that I'd break my legs for a moment, but my soles landed softly on the ground and I regained my balance.
С нами ты в безопасности.
You're safe with us.
И все твои мечты станут явью.
And all your dreams will come true.
Я так счастлива наконец обрести тебя.
I'm so happy that I finally found you.
Зайчик.
Bunny. In a fit of merry laughter, I realized the most important thing. These four are not a threat. My real enemies, and I felt that with every single hair on my mask, were those who knew nothing about magic. Humans from the village. We believed them so fast. I also realized how alive my surroundings have become. I heard the dry grass under the snow moan. I saw faces of the trees and the stars. The trees were smirking and the stars were grimacing in fear. That's right, be scared. I'll jump up to you and... I snapped my teeth, then let a jubilant laugh, jumping up along with the fox. We flew higher than the tallest pines and stayed in the air. I swirled. Alisa followed my rhythm. I knew she was smiling, so I smiled too. And the flute just kept on playing, carrying us higher and higher.
Эй, тебя что, заколдовали?
Hey, did someone put a spell on you? Wait, Polina? Wait, I thought that was Alisa. Wait, that someone is standing next to me, I thought, trying to unglue my chin from the desk. My muscles felt slightly sore, but that feeling was pleasant. The whole class was wandering about for some reason, whispering and passing notes to each other. Their faces looked like discolored math to me, bleak and boring. I yawned, remembering the time I was soaring high above the forest with Alisa by my side, laughing and squeezing my hand. Perhaps no, probably, it was all just a dream. Because I didn't walk back from the forest, just woke up in my bed on a normal morning with tea and medicine. Still, I was hardly worried about trying to find a rational explanation for my night dance. That feeling of flight was much more important. The knowledge of how it feels to be hanging in the air above the treetops of majestic pines and baring my teeth at the
Прости,
moon.
задумался.
Sorry, I got lost in thought.
Слышал уже про Катю?
Have you heard about Katya?
А?
Katya, bye. I glanced at the empty seat in front
Катя
of me.
пропала.
Katya went missing. My sleepiness was gone in an instant. I frowned in suspicion.
Как пропала? Быть не может.
What do you mean? It can't be. Dun, dun, dun. Katya, 12 years old, grade 6. And that was the end of episode 3. Oh my gosh. Okay, I have to say, I forgive Polina. I love her again. They are honestly so cute. And I guess since I chose to go on a date with Polina, he wrote that his best friend was her. And I'm pretty sure my first playthrough when I chose the loner route, I think he wrote that his best friend was Olya. So when we got the phone call in the first one, Polina said some really hurtful and awful things to us. But in this one, it was different because Polina liked us. The phone call was actually pleasant and sweet. And the only one who went out to the forest was Anton. I don't 100% remember this. Whenever I record my episode 5 of my first playthrough, since it just released on December 5th, I'm going to have to rewatch my first playthrough because I don't remember all of it. But I'm pretty sure Olya went with us the first time. Maybe she didn't. Like I said, some things I remember and some things I don't. So I could 100% be wrong on that. But I will say I'm shocked. Since I chose the Polina route, I'm surprised there was no option for me to run back to my house or leave the forest. Like, why was there no option for me to abandon Alisa and her friends? I do find that to be kind of odd, but I guess as I progress through the story, it'll start to make sense. I do wonder, since we wrote Polina is our best friend, is it going to be Polina that goes with us in the forest on episode 4 instead of Olya? I don't know, but I really hope so because that would be amazing. That would be so cool. Anyways, I hope you guys are enjoying this playthrough so far. Thank you so much for being here, and I hope I see you for my next video.